We have the Saints and the Carolina Panthers in a shootout.
Yeah, I might not like how this game ended, but it was definitely the best game to watch this week.
Oh, I agree.
It
This
was
definitely was the most exciting game all week.
yeah, like it was game of the week on Fox, and it deserved that title.
Definitely. It's
Um,
almost unfortunate that it wasn't the Sunday night game instead in prime
yeah, I
time.
know, right?
But
It would have fit better, that's for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. But it definitely deserved game of the week. Is it was one hell of a thing. And you and I were talking about it as we were watching it and everything. And uh, I was saying something about like, oh man, look at Drew Brees being a gunslinger, and
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
comparing to Brett Favre and like he's the last of his kind, he's like living on with the legacy. I do kind of feel like Brees might be like the last gunslinger right now in the NFL.
yeah. He just throws it up and live and let live.
Yeah, yeah.
See what happens. Sometimes it works out good, sometimes it doesn't. Most of the times it does, but not always. He does have a pretty high percentage of picks. So I have a huge beef with this game actually. Though
All right, what is it? Lay it on me.
the refs were atrocious. They were fucking atrocious. You know how many times the Carolina Panthers got away with 12 men in the huddle? Like, okay, I can tell you at least 3 times it directly affected the game.
Yeah.
The Panthers are on 4th and 1 in the first quarter. Notices calls a timeout, argue the point, and they rule that it's not a reviewable play. And the next play, Cam runs fucking 30 yards and gets the first down. All right. It happened again later. They're on second down at the fucking 1. They break the huddle with 12 men. They broke the huddle with 12 men. Penalty. That is a penalty. And the officials don't spot it. Then the Panthers call a timeout. Peyton throws a challenge flag trying to get them to call it, and they just ruled that the fucking timeout superseded the challenge, so he couldn't challenge it. Then it happened like okay, it happened again, and it happened during the game-winning drive in the third quarter. They're on Panthers on 3rd and 5.
Mm-hmm.
Peyton noticed it again. He started flipping out and yelling on the sideline. And I mean, it ended up dropping Ted Ginn Jr. ended up dropping a touchdown pass, but they get a first down because Bird got called for holding. The point is, like you can't fucking do that because you have to give the defense time to sub in.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking shit. It's like you know what? I've never wanted to say like, oh, the fix is in, but it's like if it ever felt like to me the fix was in to help the Panthers stay undefeated, like what the hell? That was like noticeable non-calls. It was terrible. It
Yeah.
was terrible. And it pisses me off. Now, I don't think that's necessarily the whole reason why the Saints lost the game. If you give up 500 fucking yards on defense, that's why you lost the damn game.
Yeah.
But it's bullshit. The refs, like, this was the game that really just sent me over the edge with as far as the refs are shit this year. They're just
Oh
garbage.
God, yeah. It's not. It hasn't been just this game. We've debated talking about the refs in our late call
Yeah,
segments pretty
we
much
have.
since like week 4, and we've always kept holding it off. We kept holding it off, and it's to a point like we might still do it. I don't know. We're gonna have to really discuss it more, like
But it's starting to
around
feel
time.
like we've done we've done so many episodes where we have to talk about how bad the refs are because it's the story of the game that it's like we've made a late call more than once already on this
That's
shit.
true.
It takes over uh, the whole conversation because it's so noticeable and so just terrible that you can't not talk about it. It just dominates the conversation of the game, just like it does in this one to me. It's just bad.
Yeah.
Something has to
You know
change.
what? Not that I'm asking anybody out there to do it because honestly, I'm not going to take my own time to do it. But if you watch every single episode that we've recorded so far, there's always at least one game per week that we have. The entire conversation is how bad the refs are. And it's getting to a point multiple
And this
times
was a
that
great fucking game. It's a damn
yeah,
shame that this is marred by like terrible no calls like that. Just
yeah,
sloppy. Just like, how do you not catch it that many times? He's done chewed your ass out about it. You think they'd be like, oh shit, we better pay attention to this.
yeah.
Nope. Just don't give a fuck. It's bad. I'm not impressed.
It
I'm not
I
impressed.
don't understand how it can get this bad. I don't understand how it's not like really being talked about. I mean, it's being talked about, but like that I'm talking nobody like Roger Goodell level in like the chair committee is going like, hey, we should really lock down on the refs type
I
of
mean, they
thing.
have talked about breaking up teams and stuff, which is, I think I don't know what else they can do. They need to break up teams
Uh huh.
where they don't have a culture of this crew calls this and that, and that's bullshit. There shouldn't be crews that are stricter on calls and crews that give away, you know, give, let more shit go. It should be uniform throughout every game,
Yeah.
and that's just it's got to be fixed. It's got to be fixed.
It's a huge problem. It's the biggest problem that's going on in the NFL right now, to be honest. And it doesn't seem like they're making it as important. I think a part of it is because the NFL doesn't want to admit that they're fucking up somewhere. Honestly, I think that's why it's not being as addressed as harshly. But it's a huge problem, and fans notice it the most. I mean, if the fans are noticing it, you can't tell me that the players aren't noticing it. The coaches got to notice it. And when it works in your favor, yeah, coach isn't going to say anything. But when it's not working in your favor, every ref is going to hear an earful from that coach about it. The entire time. Now, talking about the game itself, is you have to admit, especially in the second half,
Yeah,
there's a lot of opportunities for the Saints to take that game. And honestly, the biggest reason, because you're right. When your
they
defense,
can't fucking tackle, man.
yeah, when your
Saints
defense is
can't
giving up
tackle, and it's
500
terrible.
yards, in passing, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
9 times out of 10, you're gonna lose that game. Now, that being said, I think what started this all is like a snowball effect. What started this all is the touchdown pass to Brandon Cooks where he was wide open.
yeah.
Just and like it was just a deep ball. Breeze, threw it up, and it was a great play, but they left him just wide open. And the biggest reason they moved Brandon Cooks from the outside to the slot, and Josh Norman didn't follow him because he doesn't play. He always stays on the outside, no matter what, which is kind of like a big thing for him. It's like, hey, if you're covering this guy and he moves, you should probably move with him. I think that's the biggest flaw with Panthers defense, and you can't tell me that other teams are picking this up now. If they want to have a go-to guy to get open, move him to the slot, and Norman's not going to follow him, and that could be
Yeah, because
set
he's
for
not
anyway.
he's not playing man. They're
Yeah,
playing zone coverage.
right,
So
exactly. Now that being said, I feel as soon as Breeze had that great touchdown to Cooks, that all of a sudden it just became like this nonstop deep ball game. Like it's almost like
yeah,
as if Cam Newton came out and took that as a chance. Like, oh, you can throw a deep pass. Well, watch, I'll throw a deep pass, and then he gets a touchdown. And then Breeze comes by, he's like, oh, you're gonna make a touchdown. Well, watch this deep pass, and then he throws a touchdown. It was just so back, and I feel like that one play to Brandon Cooks just like opened up this giant like it was
yeah.
like
There's
them like just
definitely
saying like, oh, you can do that, I could do that, and then like just back and forth.
the game opened up for
Yeah.
sure as soon as that happened. It's like the defenses took a nap collectively.
Well, you know what? You gotta. I don't know if you noticed this or not, but you gotta kind of admit a little bit that Saints defense, they weren't stopping the Panthers because of good coverage. The Panthers stopped themselves. Look how many drop passes and
Yeah,
overthrown balls were getting thrown their way, and like easy touchdowns were like,
that's been a problem for them all season. That's been like the drop passes has been just a huge problem for them all
mm-hmm.
season.
And so you guys kind of got a lucky break on it, and just really
Oh yeah.
unfortunate that the Saints couldn't stop them right in crunch time when it mattered the most.
It would have been nice if we could have said we brought it in to Carolina and Atlanta's undefeated seasons.
Oh yeah,
Oh well.
It was damn close.
Shit happens.
And you know what? It was so
It,
damn
it was a
close
good game.
that Carolina does look like they're beatable now for the
They look
first
beatable
time in a
for sure.
while.
They're, yeah, I would agree with you. I don't think they're going to go undefeated. I really
No,
don't.
I don't think so
They
either.
might, they might even win the Super Bowl, but I don't think they're going undefeated.
Right.
So
Actually, did you
see
see
how that
that
plays out.
thing they had up where they interviewed Don Shula with the Miami Dolphins?
No,
And oh, well, they had this. They interviewed him, and they asked Don Shula what he thought if Carolina went undefeated and won the Super Bowl. And apparently, he flat out said he's like, actually, instead of just trying to defend like the '97 or 1972 Dolphins going undefeated, he actually like was rooting for Carolina to do it too. Instead of trying to be like, no, we're the only guys. Like, apparently, that's what he said. That he's rooting for Carolina to go undefeated and win the Super
I
Bowl.
know that statistically, apparently, they're supposedly were the worst 12-0 team ever. So
Oh, really?
it's pretty, yeah. So it's pretty impressive that they even made it this far without losing a game.
Hmm. Yeah, it kind of is, to be honest. And I don't know if you want to delve into this a whole lot. All
Nah,
you
we need to wrap it up.
okay? Then maybe we'll save it for another time. How
Uh,
about that? So if
sounds
you
good.
want to know what I thought I might bring up, leave us a comment. And then, as always, you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and you can even maybe ask us there what you thought I was going to bring up. And you could always leave us a comment of what you felt about this game and how you felt all about it.
But you thought about me ranting for half the episode about the fucking refs.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Tell us what you
Oh,
think about the
oh.
goddamn refs. Sorry, man.
All right.
Sorry, man.
Sorry.